Well, I mean, when it comes right down to it, each time, each era, the people that leave their message a little bit are the artists, you know, and it depends on what medium they're working in. You know, painters leave their mark, and writers certainly leave theirs, and all the other disciplines and things. But it's like ancient Chinese poetry, which my friend Dave Lundy, who's a real good poet, he translates a lot of that, and I read it as well. Some of that survives from like 15 AD and things like that, and you get a real sense that you, a lot of the things that you feel in terms of your emotions and stuff like that aren't quite as unique, which is also part of adolescence and the arrogance of any age, which is completely, you know, indicative to your time and your feelings and your tragedies and all the things. I just like to look at it as your home movies. You know, it's what it really comes down to. It's one form where you can speak as honestly as you can about yourself, about your successes and your failures, the things that make you, as a buddy of mine says, the things that make us laugh and the things that make us cry, as well as your observations on the times you're living in. There's an old Chinese curse that says, may you live in interesting times. Well, we live in interesting times, pal.
Where is Lucky Ward tonight?
All right, Eddie.
Is he out of cigarettes, or don't he need them anymore? Is Hot Horse calling him up in his best 3-day drunk voice asking, well, hiya, you old bastard. Why aren't you dead yet? And if you were, how could you ever tell? Damn it, he goes. My phone doesn't ring for a week, and then I get 3 phone calls in an hour, 2 wrong numbers, and this. And you know, pal, I just don't see the difference. All the rest of you smart-ass bastards have got machines that screen these things out. Now, I'll ask you, what have I got? The line went silent. Smatter, you out of questions? Hot Horse could feel Lucky's grin in the receiver. I know what you want. You want news, don't you? The details. Divorce, infidelity, drunken confessions, alibis, bragging either how much money you make or how much you owe. Well, you could forget it. The silence went on longer this time. Yikes, thought Hot Horse. I only wanted to ask him how his kids were. Then Lucky Ward said, keep away from me there, pal. I don't know you anymore. Just too long ago to be bothered digging up a bunch of old bones for a little leftover meat. Yeah, I remember you. So what? How'd you get this number anyway? It's supposed to be enlisted. Oh, Hot Horse says. Ran into an old friend of yours last night. Yeah? Like who? Now Lucky Ward is interested. The silence went on, and then clicked, like the sound of an old plastic faceplate switch, or gravel and dirt falling off a shovel, followed by the dial tone. And now, in the dark, it's Hot Horse who has the grin. He whispered, love that man.
Goodbye forever, old fellows and gals. Goodbye forever, old sweethearts and pals. God bless them.
Just about every winter, April, it's like marks the passage of time. I get up at about 5 in the morning, 4:30, drive in the black all the way up to Depew where Amtrak stops. And I get there real early and I get a cup of coffee, and I'm always excited because I'm going down to New York to see friends, and it's the beginning of the baseball season. I go see a ball game, you know, baseball game fan. And, my wife's from Schenectady, and on a tape that I put out, Dippic Dreams, or Dubois Dreams if you want to get clinical about it. There's a piece on it called "Screwing Me Through Schenectady," and people ask me about, well, what's that all about? What does that mean? Well, other than the fact I like alliteration, Schenectady and a lot of the towns across that old New York Central line were once really, really proud little cities, like Buffalo was, And as America sort of rusted out, the late 60s and 70s and everything else, the towns crumbled and the industry left them, and the train stations reflected the general malaise of the area and the economy, and they got more and more run down. And it was like going through town after town of ghost vistas. And now, because all the rail is welded steel, they don't have sections like they used to, which gave that tlak, tlak, tlak rhythm and things like that. And now it's a little bit different, but you can always, in the distance, hear that sound of a train coming, knowing that you're going to get on it. You're standing on the platform. It's early in the morning. People are half awake and talking real low. And there's sort of something in the air, an expectancy that you're going somewhere, that you're going to get on something that's going to take you later.
December was as sad as what was left of Utica around the train station platforms. All the ghosts that never got the good jobs at GE now portering the limbo vapor luggage all about the shattered pillars. So when he showed up and identified himself as a recorder, third class, representing the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Red Meat, all the apparitions scrambled for his luggage and called him sir. The fullness and bounty in the quality of life he was leading was so apparent. What a knee slapper. He dreamed of calibrating all the volume control presets on all the Amtrak coach intercoms, so he could purr out the stops all along the Hudson, from speakers suggesting each station was where each passenger had always dreamed of getting off at one day. It would be like screwing you through Schenectady, or maybe just saying it a lot. Slowly as the runes slide by, you'd be just mounting the thigh, sliding the rune so slowly by. The least you could have admitted to me once is it might have been worth giving it a try. So slide those runes so slowly by, screwing me through Schenectady.
You want to try to be responsible for creating things that could accurately portray the time you live in, at least from your point of view, and as honestly as you can, but by the same token, can provide for people down the road, no matter how far down the road, convey your sense of humanity, convey something of the times you live in, but aren't so steeped in it that they can't make head nor tails of what the hell it is you're trying to talk about.